This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Hamzah Sheeraz here in Las Vegas. Hamza, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Getting over the jet lag, man. Getting over the jet lag, but it's cool. We're here.
I was thinking on my way over, Hamza. It's been some ride because I remember interviewing you back at those Your Call days, and now you're here in Las Vegas,
Yeah,
living
mad,
it
isn't
up,
it?
waiting on potentially what could be an absolutely monstrous fight for yourself.
Yeah.
How do you assess that journey to this point?
Yeah, it's. I can only thank God. Honestly, I can only thank God, bro. I can only thank God. If I look back 5 years ago, did I think I'd be here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But like I said, God has been kind. He's been very kind. He's blessed me, blessed my team, blessed my family. And then hopefully after this weekend, I'll get the opportunity to be a great.
Do you ever look at it and look at that journey and were there ever any points when it was going, say, really well and you thought, surely it can't get any better, surely it can't get any better?
Yeah, it gets like that. Listen, from my debut, it was like that. Because you got to remember, I only set out to win like Southern area titles and English titles. You've heard it all before, but as soon as you start getting closer to that dream, and it starts to become a reality, not until it happens, you're like, shit, man, here we are, like, we're here, all right, cool, this is it. And then next thing you know, you get a bigger opportunity, you do that, you succeed in that, and then you get another, like, it's endless, the sky's the limit. Like, it truly is when you say that. But yeah, blessed.
Let's talk about the fight before we bring yourself into the equation.
Yeah.
Both men weighed in this morning, 167.5 pounds.
Yep.
Surprised to see both of them at the same weight, and in particular Terence Crawford.
Yeah,
coming
he
in
looked
at that.
good, man. Crawford, like Canelo, we expected it to make the weight as he's been doing at 68 pounds. But I think the talking point here is Crawford in terms of the weight, and he looked good, man. He looked good. Like he didn't look fleshy at all. He looks like he's put on the right amount of muscle and the right size as well. But that being said, I don't think it's gonna help him too much tomorrow night.
You've gone through the weights yourself, but it's different for you because you've got the physique, which has
Yeah.
naturally been able to fill out quite quickly into the weights. But when you look at Terence Crawford, what do you feel like the purpose is of him coming in at that weight? Do you feel like it's maybe a sign we'll see him not necessarily look to box and move as much, but he wants to try and, as people said, he needs to try and earn Canelo's respect, try and say push him back, but certainly give him something to think about.
Yeah, I think what helps him here is you have to remember that he's a very good wrestler, Crawford. He's a very, very good wrestler. So I feel like that could help him a lot. It could help him a lot in terms of the physicality of the fight. In the clinches, he can be a bit more craftier. But when it comes to the actual punching, I don't think he's got the power to hurt Canelo or knock Canelo out, etc., etc. So he can make it tricky. Like I've said, for the first six rounds, I reckon it will be pretty tricky. But then I feel Canelo will take over from there and then get him out of there in rounds 8 to 10.
So you've just said that you see him getting him out there around 8 to 10. What do you think the keys for Canelo to be able to position himself so that does play out like that?
In all honesty, do what he does. Do what he does. We've seen him fight for years upon years, man. He's not really changed. You know what I mean? He's not really changed. If anything, he's become a lot more relaxed. So I think going into this fight, he can't be as relaxed as he has been for the last few fights, and there's a lot more at stake. And you got to remember, you've got someone who's going to be full of energy. He didn't have to make weight, did he? Didn't have to cut weight. So yeah, just to be a bit more alert than he has been before.
Do you think that's where people are somewhat misinterpreting his career, shall we say, because people look at Canelo and think since he became undisputed, has he been on the decline or not? Do you think it's just been simply a case of he hasn't had that same level of motivation for his opponent? Same with Dimitri Bivol, because Dimitri Bivol, although in boxing we knew how good of a fighter he was, he went and produced a masterclass against Canelo. I think even Canelo was surprised by the talents he possessed. Do you think it's just been a case of he hasn't had that same level of motivation that he will show on Saturday?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. When he's been fighting his fighters, they've not brought nothing new. And he's like, all right, cool, I just got to do what I got to do, go in there, go through the motions and pick up the win. And it's mad to think that people think he's on the decline. He's still unified champion at 168. So I think if he was on the decline, he wouldn't be champion. You know what I mean? And there's no one better than him at the weight because he's not been beaten at the weight. So yeah, I think that's what it is, just a lack of motivation in terms of opponent and whatnot. But a fight of this magnitude, he always turns up and delivers, and I feel like he'll really, really thrive off what's happening.
I'd imagine since I saw you last in Saudi on the Itama white card, you've probably had a few other conversations with those representatives in Saudi,
Yep.
maybe even caught up with them whilst you've been in Vegas for this short time so far. Guarantees, can I say that it will be you and Canelo next if Canelo's victorious?
Yeah, near enough. Providing he comes through uninjured and not hurt, etc., etc. God willing, it's more or less there really, more or less there. And I can only thank His Excellency, the ring, and the team for lining it up. I can't say making it happen because it's not happening yet, but for lining it up. And yeah, I'll be watching closely. Yeah, this is mad to think that in about what 5-6 months could be sharing a ring with him.
If Terence Crawford has his hand raised on Saturday night, have there been conversations about you and Terence at 168, or is it purely
No,
Canelo?
and I don't think there will be. To be fair, I don't think there will be. I think if he unifies, then he comes down. But you never know. We're talking about His Excellency here, so if he fancies the fight and they do as well, then I mean, there's no stopping it, is there? I'm a fighter who will fight anyone, and everyone knows that.
When I last saw you, again, we spoke about if there's any chance of you having an interim fight.
Yeah.
At the time, you said you just see how this weekend plays out first, and you just said depends on any cuts or any injuries and what have you. I spoke to Spencer Brown when I got back from Saudi, and he mentioned a potential Callum Simpson fight.
Yeah.
What can you tell me? Is that something which is maybe in the works? Or?
It's highly unlikely. It is highly unlikely. That was kind of there in case or in case of, like, say this fight was to get delayed or something like that. That was in the pipeline there, but yeah, it's very unlikely at the minute.
Before we wrap this up, you've got a couple of campmates with some big fights, one this weekend and one on the horizon.
Yeah.
Start off with Paddy Donovan, potentially a world champion in your camp soon.
Yep.
What do you make of his rematch with Lewis Crocker?
I feel like there's no way he can't win unless he puts his hands down, leaves his chin out, and gets sparked. That's honest. That's how I feel about the fight. No disrespect to Crocker. He's a great fighter. Listen, he's fighting for a world title, so it just shows what level he's at. But I think Paddy's got his number. You know when a fighter's good. I feel like Paddy's got his number. And the good thing is, Andy's a coach who will never let his fighters get overconfident. He trains them to the best of their ability, to 100%, and you know without a doubt he's going in there ready for it all.
I remember speaking with Andy in Saudi again, and he said that maybe in the first fight it was probably emotion that cost Paddy, with the way that everybody was kind of just going in the crowd.
Yeah.
It's even bigger this time round. It's a rematch, it's a bigger venue. You've obviously had a chance to see Paddy in camp. You see what he's like. What's the key for him to make sure that he doesn't switch off and he doesn't allow everything to get on top of him?
It's just use his boxing brain. He's a smart fighter. You've got to look at the amateur pedigree he had. And the way he's wiping all these guys out leading up to this fight. So you just got to do what he does, not let the crowd play too much into how you fight in the ring, because that can play a massive part, especially it being an all Irish title fight. A lot of testosterone there. But yeah, just do what he does.
I think timing wise, if say it's a 10 p.m. main event, it'll be about 2 p.m. Sorry, here. Yeah. So you're gonna tune in for it?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there cheering them on, man. Getting the old luck of the Irish on their side. And
then the other man, Joseph Parker, had his fight with Fabio Wardley recently announced. Both men deserve huge credit because both are there waiting for that big chance, and they've both decided to risk it all against each other.
Yeah, both don't need to take the fight, do they?
No, exactly.
Both don't need to take the fight. But it just goes to show what kind of fighting men they actually are, and I think Joe kind of needed it. It was when's the last time he fought? In Riyadh when I fought, wasn't it?
Bacoli.
Yeah. So it's a long time ago, man. It's a long time ago, and it's without sounding disrespectful to Fabio, it's a good fight for Joe. I believe anyway. I believe it's a good fight for Joe. It's dangerous because they're heavyweights. Anything goes. But I feel like Joe's too experienced, too smart, too sharp, and yeah, he'll be chomping at the bit.
Well, Hamza, listen, that's the end of that. I'll leave you now to enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your time in Vegas. Obviously, look forward to announcements soon, hopefully, if everything goes to plan on Saturday for yourself. So, yeah, thanks for speaking to me in Boxing News.
Thank you, bro.